Hello, I'm Michelle. I'm a chaplain with Angelic Hospice. This morning I want to read a devotion based off the Julian of Norwich quote, "All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well." This morning I was wondering about how all of our roles have changed over the past few weeks. And I was reminded that it is in fact Lent, a time where we reflect and regroup and focus on the renewing death of Christ. As I thought about what that time all those years ago must have been like, I found myself struck by the eerie similarity of then and now. And I wondered, is this Lent, this particular Lent right now, a sign? I don't often think about signs or coincidences, but honestly, right now it is hard not to. I talk to our patients and they say things like the end times or link what's happening in our world to something that happened in the Bible. And they're not terribly far off from the truth. Lent 2,000 years ago was indeed a time of chaos. Like now, there were no church services for fear of persecution. There were no social gatherings, again for fear of persecution, unless you pledged allegiance to the Romans. But even then, your chances were still good for getting in trouble for one thing or another. And there were no schools because people feared for their lives and their families' lives. Look at us today in March of 2020. There are no church services for fear of a pandemic. There are no gatherings for fear that we might break a rule or get in trouble or spread a disease. There are no schools because of the same. People are isolated and scared and afraid of the unknown, and like them, we also don't know how long this will last. And then I think about our patients. They too are in a period of waiting and seeing. They too are waiting and seeing if God wants them today or in a month from now, and they are in an expectant time of death. Yet they don't know when it will happen. For them, this is chaos. Their families are now isolated because of this pandemic, and they too are waiting and watching and worrying in a time of chaos. During this time when we can't physically be with one another, I hope that we can sit back and give comfort in other ways. Send a text to a friend that you haven't talked to. Reach out to that estranged family member that you haven't spoken to. Plant that garden in your backyard you said you wanted to plant years ago. And just be. Be with your chaos and become one with it. Friends, chaos comes and goes, and so does stress, but the love and care for friends and family and people in general breaks through that chaos, as does the meaning of Lent, which was born out of chaos. Love is the antidote to chaos, so just love and care for one another. And in closing, remember that all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well.